I'm sure most of you are aware by now, I have moved house. Ow. This is not my usual setup because this is my new bedroom. Welcome. It's blue. I kind of want to change that. Anyway, if you guys saw my video a few weeks ago, you'll know that I actually moved to London now, so this is where I live. And with moving to London and out of the parents, I was faced with a whole new range of challenges, some of which you probably will have already seen if you follow my Snapchat. But I thought because of moving out is like a new start, I would do something like a little feature on this channel called How to Adult. Now, let me just put a disclaimer out there by saying I by no means know how to adult. I ain't got a blooming clue what I'm doing here. But I thought it would be fun to kind of bring you along on this journey of things that I'm learning, things that I'm finding out, mistakes I've made so that maybe you don't make them as well. So because I've only lived in London for a week now, I've not really had much of a chance to kind of discover a lot about living on your own. So for this week's video I decided to do a how to adult segment on actually moving out, so the whole process of packing your stuff up, taking it in transport and things like that. I did learn a couple of things, mistakes I have made that I would prefer you not to repeat because they put me in a bit of an awkward predicament. It's easily managed, but I mean they're just little things that you can avoid doing, so I thought why not share them with you? First thing you'll realise is that you have a lot more stuff than you thought you did. This being the case, you will need a lot of boxes. Now the best place to go and get boxes are from places, establishments, for example supermarkets and shops that have boxes that they don't need anymore. They're usually quite big ones, so you don't want ones that are too huge because you're not going to fit them in your car if you're travelling by car, that is. So you want ones that are sort of yay big, kind of your standard fairly large sized box, so you can fit all sorts of things in there. Best place to go is to a supermarket. Just go in and ask if they've got any boxes. Some places will even have like a section dedicated to empty boxes, usually on the checkouts, and you can just go and help yourselves too. Something that one of my friends actually said works really well is if you get banana boxes. They do have a big hole in the bottom, so as long as you put something flat like a tray or like a piece of board or something underneath, they'll be a really good size to carry your things in. The second thing you want to do is secure those boxes. So to do that, I'd recommend a big roll of brown tape. You can probably get them from most DIY crafty stores, supermarkets maybe if you've got a particularly good supermarket. My dad, as an engineer, has reams of brown tape and all cable tape, all kinds of tape really dotted around the house, so I didn't actually have to go out and buy any, but the brown tape was a very crucial part in packing my stuff and making sure that none of it fell out, that it was all secure, that it was easier to carry, you didn't have to worry about anything. So brown tape, obviously that kind of goes without saying, but it's better than your little standard roll of sellotape. Your fragile things. A lot of people probably want bubble wrap or something cushioned for your fragile things. For example, glasses, candles. Mine was predominantly candles. I had a lot of candles to take across. I found that old newspapers worked absolutely fine. Not a single candle broke. Just take your old newspaper, a couple of sheets at a time, wrap your candles up in them, try and put your newspaper on the inside of a candle holder as well so that it doesn't break from compression. You don't necessarily need bubble wrap unless you've got something that you really want to be careful with, but newspaper works just as fine. And I actually knew someone who was moving house who went to their local chip shop. Those chip shops that wrap all of their fish and their chips and stuff up in paper. Do all chip shops do that? I don't go often enough to be able to. Yeah, chip shops who wrap their food up in brown paper, more often than not will be able to give you a few sheets of paper just for your delicate things. The one that this girl I know went to gave her like a whole wad of chip paper to wrap her stuff up in, which was really nice of them. So you can go and try that, or obviously just keep newspapers. Do people still read newspapers these days? Like actual physical spread, what's the word? Ow, I keep knocking myself on this. Hi. Long story short, I'm having a mare. This is Tash from the future, editing Tash. Basically, I was in the middle of editing the footage which you are currently watching, that I filmed last night. And for some reason my camera decided to cut out or not to film or to just stop at this point that you're watching this now. That cut out most of the video. Ain't gonna lie, I was a little bit peeved. So this is Tash of the next day trying to refilm what I left out. God, anyone would think that I was new at this. Last week's video didn't have any sound, this week's video cut out. But it's fine, it's all a challenge which we shall take in our stride and keep moving forward. Right, so I think I got up to this point here, which is to label each box that you are taking with you on all sides of the box, so that no matter how you've got your boxes stacked up, whether you've got them on top of each other, like in a big bundle, you will know what is in each box because you've labelled it on each side. So you won't have to go rummaging through them all to find a flannel or some shower gel. It's also a good idea to label your boxes in room order. For example, you can have a box of things to go in the kitchen, a box of stuff for the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room. And then something that I can't stress enough, okay? This was my main mistake in the whole moving out situation. It's really important to write detailed labels. I had 2 boxes in my house and they were the biggest boxes and they were filled with clothes, both of them. I decided that I didn't want to take both of them, at least to start with, because they were so big. So one of them was labelled winter clothes and the other one was labelled more clothes, including work, clothes and underwear. So I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to be at work and underwear is always a necessity. So I decided to take the second box. When I got here, I was unpacking all my things and hanging them all up. I had my dresses, there were coats, there was my work clothes and my underwear, which was always good. But no trousers. I'd packed all of my jeans, my leggings, my jogging bottoms, anything in the other box, which I'd labelled just winter clothes. I'm not struggling too much at the moment because London is still quite warm, but when it rains and I'm out there in my little dress and a thick coat, I do look like a bit of an idiot. So, note to everyone, label your boxes well so that you know you don't forget your bottom half. I have no trousers to wear. Dear, what was my life? Or just be smarter at packing and pack, you know, like outfits together, so that you've not got all of one item of clothing in one box. I've got one pair of leggings which I wore here and the rest are just skirts and dresses. Something else that's really important to do, and you will find super handy, is if you pack your essentials last. So these will be things that you'll need straight away. A tea bag, for example, or your makeup bag, your skincare bag, your purse. So pack your essentials in a bag, in an overnight bag, in a special box on their own, just so you can grab them when you need them. Are we still, I'm just going to check we're still filming. Something that can be quite handy, this is probably more helpful for the female audience that I have, but for your makeup, any powders like this one, or my bronzer, that's also a powder, any pressed powders you've got that you want to protect during transit, you can grab a cotton pad, so just one of those, stick it in your compact, close it, and that just acts as a little cushion, so if it gets knocked or if it gets dinged on the side, it's not going to break your powder. There is not very much that is more upsetting than a broken powder. Something else which I didn't actually use myself, but I found it online and I thought it was a really good hack to do, so I'm going to share it with you guys. But if you've got any liquids, so open bottles of liquid, shower gels, moisturisers, that might leak, might be prone to leaking, something you can do is get some cling film, tear a piece off, unscrew the lid of whatever it is that you're taking, the bottle, and put some cling film over the top, screw the lid back on, and then it won't spill, it won't leak, it won't get over any of your other clothes, so you can just pack it in wherever there's room and your clothes will be protected. My mum, bless her, when she went on holiday, she had this little, it was a peppermint foot spray from the Body Shop, and it leaked all over her clothes and stained them, and it was very upsetting for her. So prevent that by using the cling film under the lid hat. And then I think the footage catches up again. So I'm gonna head back to past Tash to finish the rest of the video. I hope it's fine now. It's a Before you leave, if you take a photo of how your electrical items are set up, for example how a computer is set up or how your TV and the speakers and cables and everything are all set up, when you get to the new place you've got that photo reference to know where the wires go. It will save a whole lot of time, a whole lot of hassle. I personally didn't have much problem with this. I've just got my laptop, my camera. I didn't bring a computer or a TV or anything like that, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I can imagine if you're moving your entire TV, sound system, gaming devices, DVD players, or things like that, you are probably going to get a little bit confused. Unless you're really high-tech and whizzy, then you don't need to worry about that, obviously. But for us normal people who don't really know much about where wires go, apart from just to play the guessing game, it'll save you a whole lot of problems to know, the green one goes there. And that is all I have on my list of tips for moving out. I do hope you enjoyed this video and found it a little bit beneficial as well. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new, and I will be hopefully continuing with this segment on my channel of adulting or adulting, however you want to pronounce it, and I'll let you know how I get on in trying to be an adult and most likely making very many mistakes. But I mean, that's what we're here for. It's a learning experience for us all, shall we say. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye!